Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the OuTPost Racing Network, where tonight it's time for another installment, another chapter, another page written in the book that is Win Cash Wednesday. I am Mag Nelson. I'll be your lone voice up in the booth here tonight, pushing all the buttons, making all the calls. When it comes to giving you guys an entertaining and immersive race experience, Cody Lou is going to be our race director, making all the calls down there on the track. We're thrilled you've chosen to spend your Wednesday night with us as the OuTPost Racing League rolls into one of dirt racing's crown jewels. It's Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. UMP Modified is going to be taking the stage 75 laps tonight. And man, oh man, is there a very, very big prize at the end of this tunnel. $50 to win. $30 going to be going to the second place driver. $20 going to the driver that finishes on the final step of that rostrum in third place. And of course, the $25 hard charger award for whoever can advance the most positions in the feature here tonight. That means there is not only money waiting at the front, but it's also waiting for whoever can be on top of their game the best during this feature. But before we go any further, and before practice wraps up here and we get into our 3-minute qualifying session, I do just want to send and extend a huge thank you, a huge shout out, and quite frankly, just a huge praise to our title sponsor tonight. It's going to be the Slinging Dirt Series. That is presented by Star Race Cars. Their support helps make nights like this possible, man. Giving drivers another opportunity to race for cash while showcasing some incredible dirt track competition. If you're looking for even more action after tonight, be sure to check out the Slinging Dirt Series, which runs every other Friday nights here on the OuTPost Racing Network. So you'll be able to hear me call it, but you can be a part of that fun. They've got two outstanding divisions, the Outlaw Street Stocks and the Hooked Up Super Late Models. Next event is going to be this Friday in just a couple days' time. July 10th, we're at the legendary Lernerville Speedway, and it's one you will not want to miss. So if you are interested in competing, I do believe registration might still be up for that series. You might have to talk to Mr. Derek Darnell himself for more information about that. However, from everyone here at the OuTPost Racing Network, we encourage you to go show them some love, support what they're doing over there, because they are trying to make the dirt racing scene a little more reputable here on the iRacing official service. Lone qualifying set to start. Drivers are going to have 3 minutes to post a lap. Steven Wozniak out on track. If I mispronounce that, I do so dearly and I mean dearly apologize. Matthew Selby going to be out on track. He's had a pretty good run of form here on the Outpost Racing Network in the past couple of weeks. I do want to say, as we shift the attention back towards tonight, Lucas Oil here is fast. It's very technical, but most notoriously, it's very unforgiving. Drivers are going to have to manage those changing track conditions, all while trying to also navigate the heavy traffic, because, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some cars out here tonight. The car count looking fantastic on our side of things, and I mean, it's no excuse. Most of that does have to go towards the generosity that Mr. Derek Darnell and the whole Slinging Dirt Series team has provided for us. Their generosity, the donation towards the purse here tonight, sponsoring the show, gonna make it one heck of a time. I have zero doubt about that. Aaron Vasquez, just, and I mean just north of 8,000 iRating. He sits at 8,001. He is going to be setting the preliminary pole as qualifying's only got just north of a minute left here. As we take a look at the track intel here, we do have a heavy cushion, and it develops over these longer features here at Wheatland. 3/8 mile track, clay dirt, the diamond of dirt tracks. They've got a whole lot of stuff here at this complex, man. It's very, very cool to see. And these drivers are going to be feeling the intensity here tonight. That I have no doubt about. Nicholas McDougall joining us here tonight. I saw he was wrestling the options on his Facebook page. You can go see him at, I believe it's McDougall Racing. But he has decided to land in our arms here tonight, and man, it is an honor to be seeing Nicholas McDougall, as well as everyone else who is participating in the race out here tonight. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to everybody who is a working gear in making the Outpost Racing League, and more importantly, the Win Cash Wednesday Series just a little cooler, as that is the goal every single time we come out here. Qualifying has finished up, ladies and gentlemen. That means we will get into heat race number 1 very, very shortly. And if I'm not mistaken, it might be a long show tonight, gentlemen. We might have ourselves a few consolations as well. We haven't really seen that in the Win Cash Wednesday series. Man, I am just absolutely giddy at what we're seeing here tonight. Man, oh man, let's get into that grid for heat race number 1. It's going to be Aiden Lewis starting on pole in that number 55 for Midwest Sim Sports. He's going to have Nate Wimhoff in the number 48 on the outside of him. Brandon Jones in the number 11 going to be in row number 2 with Braden Carter representing CSC in the 00 and 5. Ashton Farm, Mike Augustine going to be in row number 3. Mike Augustine, of course, going to be a Win Cash Wednesday winner. I believe that came in week number 2. Jared Jones and Dylan Alton are going to be row number 4 with Colt Race representing Valhalla Motorsports in P9. So drivers are set to get ready here. We're taking 3 out of all of these heats, making for a 24-car show once we get through the heats and consolations. So in an ideal world, it'll be 6 coming out of each consolation, but the numbers do play a part of that, so we'll have to see. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the pit lane. That can only mean one more thing. Aiden Lewis has the button. Green flag is out. We are up and away. Heat race number 1, lap number 1 already starting to come towards a little bit of fruition here for Nate Wimhoff around that I side. He's going to try to keep his momentum high, make things work while the bottom of the track is still proving to be viable there for the number 15. That is Brandon Jones. In the white and purple UMP modified, he's only got one car joining him on the bottom line. That's going to be Jarrett Jones. In the number 45, he is not able to keep his momentum through that corner. He's not able to keep that UMP modified spinning around. And he is going to be collecting the number 50, or I believe that might be Ashton Farr, actually. And the number 51, yes, and that is going to be Ashton Farr's heat race pretty much done and dusted for now. Colt Race is going to be out as well. So your top three consisting of Aiden Lewis, Nate Wimhoff, and Brandon Jones. But watch out, because here comes Augie. Down on the inside of the number 15 of Jones. He is going to be setting your fastest lap. Now he is in a little bit of a conundrum with Braden Carter behind him. Drivers jockeying for position all they can. Let's get a little closer look here at the number 19 of Mike Augustine. Like I said, he is a Win Cash Wednesday winner. He has been paid. Legacy has been cemented. We'll see what he has here for us. More importantly, for Nate Wimhoff. Look at him, so shifty. Making quick work of Braden Carter, setting up the move on Nate Wimhoff, while also sending the pressure towards the car in focus right now. That's going to be Brandon Jones. So Brandon Jones in a very good position, but in the best position, going to be our pole sitter, Aiden Lewis, who has not faltered. He has not came down from that leading pedestal just yet. And we have one more revolution around Wheatland before we decide our transfers from heat race number 1. Aiden Lewis is in. He's going to win. Brandon Jones in P2, and Augie, Mike Augustine in P3. He is going to secure the final transfer spot out of heat race number 1. And from Nate Wimhoff and back, they're going to have to get it out the mud in the consolations. Heat race number 2 set to begin here shortly. We'll give you a grid for that race as well. Brody Ulick in the number 57 representing KRE. He is going to be sitting on pole. Kinzer Tosh is going to be on the outside of him in that number 14. Tyler Bickford in P3 with Matt Selby in P4. Clayton Johnson in the number 25, going to be in P5 with Scott Colm Jr. also representing KRE in P6. Alex Myers and Philip T-Bolt in P8. Alex Myers going to be in that P7 position. As heat race number 2 set to begin here, we got 10 laps. That is what we're going to be working with for all of our heat races here tonight. Consolation's going to be 12 laps. As the number 57 there of Brody Ulick, I must say, very, very clean wrap, as I'm sure I should be saying about a lot of these drivers that are here tonight. I say it every time, but I feel like the livery game on the dirt side of things is just a little more developed, a little cooler than you see in any of the other disciplines here on the iRacing official service. As Brody Ulick's going to start things out incredibly late, if I might say, and that is going to be cars all over the place. Green flag is going to stay out. Yellow does now come. And that is a lot to dissect. Oh my goodness. So here's the start. We got Kinzer Tosh starting outside that pole row there. He is going to set his car into the corner, and to be fair, he's just going to get absolutely ran down. as we get another look at it here. Oh, and it's going to be a little bit of contact that actually causes that with Matt Selby. Here's the look from Scott Combs' point of view. We'll ride on board with him. Yeah, just a little bit of contact on that bottom side made Selby wash up. Big incident there. I'm sure all drivers are going to be able to take maybe a fast repair and get back out. Or maybe not, who knows? Brody Ulick still going to have the honor of getting us started here for our second start of our second heat race. iRacing official pace truck off the racing surface. Brody Ulick will have the button. He is going to push it. We are green again. Drivers already, even in the beginning stages of one of our first half heat races, they are electing to rip this top side. And as you can see, drivers that are on that throttle and they're off it smooth enough, they're finding that the middle line here is definitely quick. But I mean, you cannot deny Brody Ulick is absolutely ripping around that top side. He's going to get a slider thrown onto him by Clayton Johnson. Is not able to handle it. Going down the front straight, and now Clayton Johnson pretty much has that position solidified. Scott Combs Jr. now having a little bit of a battle with Alex Myers. Alex Myers in that number 24 UMP. Tyler Bickford in P6, not having the best of runs currently, but I believe there's still an opportunity for him. Only 5 laps left, though. He has got to start ripping, and he has got to do it very efficiently. If he wants to get through this heat race, he is going to be denied at the rim by Alex Myers, though. So as it currently stands, Clayton Johnson, Brody Ulick, and Matthew Selby will be the 3 moving on, but a little bit of contact between the right front of Matthew Selby and the left rear of Brody Ulick. That might spell a little bit of a different ending to this story. Only 3 laps left. These 3 drivers just need to calm down, and Matthew Selby is sending it into the door of Brody Ulick. He wants that position in the feature. 2 sticks up in the air for Barney the Flagman, indicating this is the penultimate lap. Contact from Selby to Ulick again. And as they head around turns 3 and 4, our leader, Clayton Johnson, going to be taking the white flag. It was an early heat slider that granted him that position on Brody Ulick. Brody Ulick was never really able to fight back. And to be fair, he has had his hands full with Matthew Selby here. It's going to be down on the inside for Selby. He is not able to get it. It's going to be Clayton Johnson, Brody Ulick, and Matt Selby transferring here out of the heat. Scott Combs Jr., Tyler Bickford, Kinzer Tosh as well going to have to try to have better luck in the consolation. That brings us to heat race number 3. And that is going to see Aaron Vasquez, part of Grid and Go, the Spaniard in the number 71. He will be on pole with Nicholas McDougall in the 05, starting outside that pole row. Brandon Schatz, Mr. Schatzy of Midwest Sim Sports in the number 34. UMP Modified going to be on the inside of Chris Bruns in the number 54, representing 2BM. Jason Wilson and Cam Carrington going to be in row number 3 with Stephen Wozniak and Tim Graham in row number 4. Cameron Carrington is a driver that we haven't really seen here on the network in a decent amount of time. I do believe the last time he was on air was with the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour, so it'll be interesting to see how Cameron Carrington, a firm top 5 runner in that NLR Crown Jewel Tour, Be interesting to see how he does here in the Win Cash Wednesday races. Aaron Vasquez, all to fight for, all to lose, as he does sit on pole with a very impressive almost 8,000 iRating on the dot. It's going to be 8,001 in that white and gold 71. You have to assume any racetrack he pulls up to, he is going to be one of the favorites. He is going to have the button as the pace car has left the safety of the infield. Our third heat race starts now. A lot to fight for tonight. Slinging Dirt Series coming through with a very generous prize purse here tonight. $50 to win. We've got about $125 worth of prizes here tonight. Oh my goodness, I almost went speechless for a second. There was a little bit of conundrum, a little bit of calamity there in turn number one. That's going to be Nicholas McDougall, who is the big loser of that transaction. He is now down 6 spots into P8, but it looks like he might get past Tim Graham here for P7. Back towards the front, Aaron Vasquez steadily marching out to a sizable lead over Shotzi and Jason Wilson. Jason Wilson in that number 97 had flashes of greatness in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Hasn't really been able to find that spark since then. He needs a big result here tonight to really get himself feeling good as we head into the fall special events and, more importantly, the winter events that we may or may not have here on iRacing. But he is going to be in a drag race with Brandon Schatz, the 97 versus the 34. And all this is benefiting our leader, Aaron Vasquez, greatly, as he is able to get out in front and increase that gap. It now sits at 1 second. Jason Wilson around Brandon Schatz. A little bit of a tail whip like he's playing Pokemon Pikachu. Used tail whip, and Brandon Schatz is going to be off the track, and he is going to be in a big gaggle of cars, as that is going to be Cameron Carrington, Steven Wozniak, and Chris Bruns. So Brandon Schatz is going to have to fly through all these drivers if he wants to make it in, and he's only got 2 laps to do so. There's going to be 2 sticks in the air from Barney the Flag Man. Brandon Schatz now in a world of hurt, has to make up 2 positions in the form of 1 singular lap. He's in a drag race now with Steven Wozniak. He needs to get this position and get another one on the next corner. It's not going to happen. Meanwhile, heading into turn number 3, hard on the throttle out of turn number 4, Aaron Vasquez is going to take heat race number 3. Jason Wilson finishing in P2. Cameron Carrington in P3. Those are going to be your 3 drivers transferring out. As now we get started with heat race number 4, our final heat of the night. I assume anyway. I could be wrong. But I'm not. I know I'm not. Johnny Tucker in the number 21, representing Djibouti. Going to be on pole with a 14.968. Chase Copeland, part of Midwest Sim Sports. Going to be in P2 with Jeffrey Hyde and Aaron McGee in row number 2. Dylan Jones and Cody Racine in row number 3. Zach Staggs and Brooks Campbell going to be in row number 4. So our final heat race of the night before we get into some consolation action and get our full field scoped out for our feature tonight. As we appreciate everybody in the YouTube chat, make sure you're sounding off on who you are voting for, who you're rooting for to win here tonight. A lot of money being thrown around. Johnny Tucker has the button, and he is going to kick things off a lot earlier than the other drivers seem to. We are green here in heat race number 4. That's already going to be Brooks Campbell way off the line. He is going to be smashing into the wall. Johnny Tucker still leading these drivers as Chase Copeland in the 110. Trying to cook something up here. As Jeffrey Hyatt in the number 93, who is actually in the 66. I should know that, man. That's always Jeffrey's number. In that 66, he is going to be in that final transfer spot. He's got Dylan Jones, who is very, very curious and very keen on maybe taking that position away from Jeffrey Hyatt. Zach Stagg's going to be lagging a little further behind, as his lap times are around 15.5. Everyone else running about 15.3s. So Zach Stagg's unfortunately not really able to find the pace. Cody Racine and Brooks Campbell going to be in the same little bit of situation. Not quite able to keep the pace that these guys here have. Johnny Tucker doing a very good job of holding off Chase Copeland. Here comes Copeland, though, on the inside. 4 laps left when they cross. This is for outside row number 2 in our feature. As Jeffrey Hyatt in the number 66 is getting some resistance, some battling from Dylan Jones. Dylan's going to elect to go high. Jeffrey's going to stay on his low to medium line that he loves to run really anywhere he goes. And around turns 3 and 4, 2 sticks in the air for Barney the Flagman. It's a fantastic battle for the lead between Johnny Tucker and Chase Copeland, but those two guys are locked in. If the running stays the same, you can swap them out. It doesn't matter. But Jeffrey Hyatt and Dylan Jones here are fighting for a transfer spot. It's going to be a little bit of a wash up into turns number 1 and 2 for Dylan Jones. That's going to allow Jeffrey Hyatt to get more momentum coming down the back straight into 3 and 4. Dylan Jones is going to try to slow roll it. He's not going to get it. Johnny Tucker fends off Chase Copeland. So it's going to be Tucker, Copeland, and Hyatt that are transferring out from the heat. They will be going straight to the feature. And that is going to be heat racing wound up. We will start our consolations here momentarily. As we get set for consolation number 1, Nate Wimhoff in the number 48 is going to be sitting on pole with Steven Wozniak, Braden Carter, Brandon Schatz, Jarrett Jones, Chris Bruns, Dylan Alton, Nicholas McDougall, Ashton Farr, and Tim Graham. Rounding out your grid here for Consi number 1. We're going to be taking the top 6. I do so believe I'm going to break your immersion for just a tiny second, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize about that. It does look like we're taking 7, actually. So it looks like we're going to be grabbing 7 out of these consies. So only a few drivers aren't going to make it, but that is the first time in WinCash Wednesday history. Now, granted, we're only 5 races in, but I do believe this is the first week where not everyone is going to make it. So Nate Wimhoff has the button now in consi number 1. Going to be a little bit of confusion, it might look like, from the start of everybody. And oh no, Tim Graham's going to clip a tractor tire. He's going to have to get around and up to racing speed. Drivers opting for that bottom line. That's going to be big contact. Jarrett Jones, Nicholas McDougall. And that is going to be a big caution as we take a look at what just transpired there. So Jarrett Jones, he wants to really shallow up the second half of this corner. And it looks like he's really trying to dig it in deep into the corner and then explode out. And on a hot lap or something, or an open track, you can do something like that. However, he comes down right in front of the number 93. I'm not sure who it is because the numbers on the car and numbers in the league don't really match up that well, but oof. That is going to be a tough one for sure. As lights on the iRacing official pace truck, I do not believe are out. So I think we'll probably have one more time around. As yeah, the lights are going to be on the pace truck. We'll go at least one more time around here. Drivers not getting too far into our first consolation. Everyone fighting for the same thing. The opportunity to race for that $50 to win. Whew. Absolutely crazy stuff from Derek Dornell, from everyone over at the Slinging Dirt Series team. Man, oh man, how cool is that? $30 going to be going to second place, $20 to third, $25 for the Hard Charger Award, man. A lot of Skrilla on the board here tonight. All of these drivers are going to be worked up, no doubt. They're going to be trying their very best to put belt to ass, might I say. And I can say it, it's my network. I can curse on here if I so want to. The Nate Wimhoff set to get us going here. He is going to start things at the orange cone. And we are green here at Lucas Oil again. Here comes Braden Carter in the 005. Brandon Schott's going to be right behind them as well. A little bit of controversy at the back. Not entirely sure. The number 005 there of Braden Carter going to be almost parking it down there on the bottom side. Steven Wozniak having to react appropriately and accordingly to make sure that doesn't become a bigger situation than it needs to be. Nate Wimhoff still going to be posting the absolute fastest lap of the race with a 15.47. And if we're being honest, gentlemen, there's nobody within 0.2 of them. You got to get back to the 0.3 marker on the gap for anybody else to even be close. And now Braden Carter is running a 15.58. Nate Wimhoff with a 15.40. So he is doing a very, very good job. Nicholas McDougall is currently on the hot seat. He sits in the last transfer spot of the night. As I do believe, or actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think it might be 6. I think we might be taking 6 here, so I believe it might be Chris Bruns, actually, who is on that hot seat. Steven Wozniak in that number 1, going to be right in front of him. Big battle now here between Brandon Schatz and Braden Carter. Both bottom feeding the circuit currently. Braden Carter doing everything he can to keep Brandon Schatz at bay. It was a little bit of a compromised corner exit for Schatzy. So now Ashton Farr in that number 51 coming to say a little something about that. Down on the inside, going to try to throw him a slider. Schatz is ready for it. Going to be coming around the switchback, and it's going to be a yellow flag. As we get a look at Jarrett Jones here, who I do believe might be at the epicenter. It's going to be a slider thrown by that number 83, Dylan Alton. Not going to, not going to really help anybody out here. As those two are racing hard, trying to find themselves in a transferring position. Unfortunately for them, I don't think that's really going to be possible. As lights are still out on the pace car. Pace truck now going to be coming in. We have moved to single file. Race director Cody Lewis finding that it's taking a little long to get this consolation done, so gonna try to speed things up here as we get set to go green. Everybody has the car perched way up high where the angels sing, and Nate Wimhoff gets us started again. We are green. Ashton Farr looking to make a move on Brandon Schatz again. These two have had a very, very good battle throughout this consolation. Looks like we've got 1 lap to go. Going to be a white flag situation. Steven Wozniak, now Chris Bruns, now back to Steven Wozniak. Fighting over that final transfer spot. It's going to go in the direction of Chris Bruns and Ashton Farr, as I do believe we are taking 24 for the feature. So I don't believe Nicholas McDougall is going to make it. We might see him. I'm not entirely sure. But that is going to be the end of Consi number 1. Nate Wimhoff in the number 48. Getting it done, and to be honest, no one really had a candle for him. He was rapid. Consi number 2 starting now, and we'll get a good look at your grid here very, very shortly. Scott Colm Jr. going to be on pole, with Dylan Jones, Tyler Bickford, Zach Staggs, Alex Myers, Cody Racine, Philip T-Bolt, Brooks Campbell, Kinzer Tosh, Aaron McGee, and Colt Race. Making up your grid, 11 drivers here. In what I can only imagine is going to be a very, very fun Consi to go through. I mean, we've got Scott Colm, we've got Dylan Jones, Tyler Bickford has found himself in a Consi, which when you really stack it up and think about how well Tyler Bickford has been driving here recently in all of his leagues, you really just would not expect him to be sitting here in a consolation spot with a chance that he does not make our feature race tonight. That is a very, very weird thing to think about. We'll have to see if he can make it out. He's got 7 positions, or maybe 6. Still, I'm not entirely sure. He's going to have 6 or 7. Haha, I said the thing. Positions that he can sit in. I'm sure he'll be fine, but the pace car Gonna make its way around one more time as we get back up into our spotting tower. And ready for our final race of the evening before we get to our grand marquee, our main event. 75 laps, over $100 to win. Aaron McGee is sitting on 5,600 iRating. He is going to be starting dead last. And so for this consolation, we start off by riding on board with Aaron McGee. Green flag is out. As, oh no, that's going to be a big wreck, and Aaron McGee might have been involved up and in that. We'll have to go take a look from an outside view. Aaron McGee was ripping, though. I feel like it seems the 24 and the 11 got into each other. We'll back that up just a tiny bit here. If we see, we're looking at the number 18 of Zach Staggs here and into the corner. We're going to back things up here and take a different approach to this. So we're going to be looking at Kinzer Tosh here in the number 11. And unfortunately, yeah, that is going to be pretty much just entirely on the number 24. I believe that might have just been a little too much heat on the stove, a little too much mustard coming into the corner. That is going to not exactly be how you want to start your final and last chance at qualifying for the over $100 purse feature here tonight. Dylan Jones set to get us going once again here at Wheatland. So around turns number 3 and 4 we go. Dylan Jones in the number 99. We are green, the 15 of Philip T-Bolt. Not having the greatest of starts. You have to see him re-catch the car in the corner. That's going to be the 32 of Scott Colm Jr. dipping a toe, or I guess a tire in this case, off into the sand. Not really liking how it felt. He got himself back up and tidy pretty quick. We get a little zoomed in look. Scott Colm Jr. around the top is absolutely ripping. Haven't heard it in a very long time, but hey, tops up here, Bubba. As the 99 and the 07 are trying everything they can on that middle to low line, you see Tyler Bickford here. Well in the transfer spot. He is going for a win in this consolation. He's having a drag race with the number 99 of Dylan Jones, but Scott Colm Jr. almost looking immortal there on that top side. Tyler Bickford and Dylan Jones are going to get into each other as we have a yellow flag that may very well have just saved those drivers. We'll get a look at T-Bolt here in the number 15 as it looks like he... Oh, unfortunately for those two drivers, just kind of trying to go for the same bit of track as everyone else, although I will say T-Bolt did kind of have his line picked out. He kind of moved lines in the corner there. So you see, it looked like he was established for that middle line, tried to cut down, and I mean, it was just right on top of Aaron McGee there, who I believe that was. Yeah, it's going to be Aaron McGee. And, oh, man, yeah, that's a tough one. That is a very, very tough one. A little bit of an avoidable incident there on behalf of the offending party, however. Scott Colm Jr. and Tyler Bickford up towards the front. Well, let's be more to the point here. They are battling as Scott Colm has looked very, very good. We'll get started. Green flag again here. 5 laps to go in our final consolation of the night, and they're going to wad it up in the back again. As we've got a car going backwards there, facing the wrong way. It was going to be T-Balt again. And we pretty much saw everything that happened, but we'll go back and take another look here. As not even before the start-finish line, things already got chippy between the 15 and the 18, and yeah, that is just, well, if we're being honest, pandemonium. Pandemonium here at Lucas Oil in these UMP modifieds. So Scott Colm Jr. still going to be at the helm as we get Consi number 2 wrapped up here. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back after this race with the 75-lap main event. Going to be a whole lot of Skrilla to fight for. And that, of course, is brought to you by the Slinging Dirt Series presented by Star Race Cars. We appreciate their very generous donation and sponsorship towards the series here tonight. Scott Colm Jr. As I believe, yeah, we got the pace truck coming back out. So just a little tiny bit of a delay. And I do believe since that is our 3rd caution, there's a very good chance here that we might be either ending it under caution or maybe time limit has gotten the best of us. I mean, 3 cautions in a consolation. You don't really see that too often. So pace truck is out. It is 1 to go. I'm not sure of the situation here, and okay, so the caution laps do not count, so it must have been just a timing tower malfunction here. But we do have 4 laps to go. Scott Colm Jr. and Tyler Bickford having a little bit of a fight here on the top side. Things seem to be going pretty well. A little further back down the track, Alex Myers and Kinzer Tosh are having a real big battle here. Kinzer Tosh in the number 14. I believe he's actually sporting 11 on that car, but he's going to be battling the 18. 2 sticks up in the air for Barney the Flagman. Kinzer Tosh sits in 6th. So where he sits is currently in. However, Zach Staggs trying to take that from him. The 11 and the 18 are going to absolute war. Bickford, Colm, Jones, Racine, and Aaron McGee are all in. But here, last corner, Kinzer Tosh and Zach Staggs to the line. It's going to be Kinzer Tosh who gets it. Tosh in 6th, Aaron McGee in 5th, Racine in 4th, Scott Colm Jr. in 3rd, Dylan Jones in P2, and Tyler Bickford in P1. We're going to step aside for just a second and go to a break while these lads have their warm-up and final discussions. When we come back, it's main event action here on the OuTPost Racing Network. It's Win Cash Wednesdays this week, brought to you by the Slinging Dirt Series.
end. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and
my
to the
goodness.
line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OuTPost Racing Network. My name, Mac Nelson, and we've got one heck of a main event here for you tonight. Unfortunately, the track map not wanting to play games here tonight, but Lucas Oil Speedway, 3/8 of a mile, 77 degrees out here under the lights in Wheatland, Missouri. Cannot believe the turnout. Look at how many modifieds are out there running some laps. We've got a full 24 car field tonight. And man, oh man, I cannot wait to see what these drivers of the OuTPost Racing League cook up here, as the track is going to look mighty, mighty spent already. It's going to be a fun show to watch, without a doubt. And unfortunately, he is not currently in car, but if he was, we'd be looking at our pole sitter, which is going to be the number 55 of Aiden Lewis for our feature here tonight. He represents Midwest Sim Sports, and he is looking to get absolutely paid. Clayton Johnson in the number 25 is going to be outside that pole row with Aaron Vasquez and Johnny Tucker. Rounding out row number 2, Brandon Jones in the number 11, followed by Brody Ulick. On his outside, that's row number 3. Row number 4 sees Jason Wilson and Chase Copeland, with row number 5 being Augie, Mike Augustine, and Matthew Selby, part of Powerhouse Performance. Cameron Carrington is going to be in P11 with Jeffrey Hyatt. Going to be outside that row number 6. Moving back, we have Nate Wimhoff, Tyler Bickford in row number 7, Braden Carter, Dylan Jones making up row number 8. Brandon Schatz and Scott Colm Jr. will be row number 9 with Steven Wozniak and Cody Racine. In row number 10, Chris Bruns and Aaron McGee make up row number 11 with Ashton Farr in the number 29. For HRE Sim Sports in P23 and barely squeaking in off a last lap overtake. Kenzer Tosh is going to be in the very back in that number 14 UMP Modified. Things are about to get started here, folks. 75 laps once again. Big shout out to Slinging Dirt Series. Let's be honest, guys. They are the reason the car count is this high. I can't wait to watch. We are green. Here at Lucas Oil, it's the Win Cash Wednesday Series, week number 5. A whole lot more at stake here tonight than normal for these drivers, and you can tell drivers are already sending it into the wall. Aaron Vasquez, the Spaniard, in the number 71, trying to track down Aiden Lewis. It's going to be a difficult one, that is for sure. Brandon Jones in the number 15. He currently sits P3. He was on the verge of not transferring out of his heat. He put together a very solid performance, and he now finds himself contending for the lead. Mike Augustine has a whole lot to say about that, though, putting immense pressure on the side of Brandon Jones, but he's also putting immense pressure on Aaron Vasquez, slow rolling it around the bottom. Drivers are really trying to fight for that advantage down on the bottom side of the track. There you can see Chase Copeland doing exactly that against the 46 of Matt Selby. Dylan Jones further back, having a big argument in the form of racing with Jeffrey Hyatt. Those two electing to be on the top and bottom respectively. Jeffrey Hyatt, you know he's going to save. Sometimes, though, he saves a little too much, and he makes it a little too challenging for himself to get back up to the front. We're going to have a car stranded on the top side there. It looks like it might be the number 97 of Jason Wilson. Yes, it is. Things are still spicy towards the front. 68 laps to go. Brandon Jones in that number 15, applying a whole lot of pressure to Aaron Vasquez, who now leads. Aiden Lewis, our original pole sitter, is down 2 spots into P3. Mike Augustine in the number 19, going to be right behind him in P4. Chase Copeland now making it into the top 5. He sits in P8. There's a flock of cars behind him, including Clayton Johnson, who started this race outside of the pole row, and that is going to be our first yellow flag of the night. It falls on lap number 10. If we look here at Brandon Schatz, I believe he might be able to give us a little bit of an answer on what exactly happened. As, oh no, just a little bit of calamity between Ashton Farr and the number 13, and Brandon Schatz just unfortunately didn't really see it. His car is going to go for a little bit of a flight. Holy smokes. That's going to be Brandon Schatz and Ashton Farr with a little bit of trouble currently to their cars. Brandon Jones still trying to make good on getting up towards the front. He's already up 3 spots, but hey, Mike Augustine already up 6. He started this race in P9. He currently sits in P3. Aiden Lewis in the number 55 has been on a downtrend, unfortunately. Starting in pole, he is going to find himself in P4. I believe, actually, it might be P3. He seems to be on the inside of that row number 2. Regardless, going to be a second row start for him. Dylan Jones has moved up a considerable amount. He sits in P9, currently up 7 spots. So he is currently our hardest charger. But that must happen at the end of the race, of course. iRacing official pace truck with his lights on. I'm sure they're going to go out this time around. We will be back racing shortly here in the Win Cash Wednesday series for the Outpost Racing League. My name is Mac Nelson. You are currently watching the Outpost Racing Network. I am looking, and I mean terribly looking, to broadcast your leagues, whether they be dirt oval, asphalt oval, road course, it does not matter. Let's chop it up. Let's get a deal made. I would love to broadcast your series. Aaron Vasquez going to have the button. He is going to release the hounds onto Wheatland once again. Cars piling into turn number 1. Brody Ulick having a bit of a struggle there, losing 2 spots in our opening quarter. Now down into turns 3 and 4. He's going to be taking that top side. He's going to gain those 2 spots right back. And we've got another crash. Cars turned around. Looks like that might be Kinzer Tosh and Aiden Lewis. Let's have a little bit of a look here. We go into slow motion. Actually, I believe Chase Copeland might have a better view of what just happened. So into turn number 1, it looks like things are really close between Chase Copeland and Aiden Lewis. Chase is going to get into the rear end of Aiden Lewis. That's going to disrupt his corner entirely. 21 and 46. Really with nowhere to go, and it's just going to create a little bit of an accordion effect now, isn't it? And a lot of these guys are going to be feeling a little bit of damage from that. As now we sit with our second caution of the night. Race about to be restarted, or I guess started, for the 3rd time here tonight. Chase Copeland going to take responsibility on that one. Black flag, he is going to start in the back. A lot of race left here, though. I've got to take a few sips of my water. I've got to remember we've still got a long way to go here. Aaron Vasquez set to lead us off for our 3rd start of the night. Green flag flying here at Wheatland, down into turn number 1. We've already got a 3-wide situation here being initiated by the 46 of Matt Selby, going to be on the number 1. And we are yellow here again. As this is Cody Racine, as it looks like Jeffrey Hyatt. I wish the iRacing timing tower here on the SDK software would do a little better job at identifying who exactly was at the fault of this. And I believe, whoa, number 1 of Steven Wozniak. A whole lot of ambition flying into that corner. He is going to be just a little too hot on the loud pedal. And that is once again going to cause a big pile up. The 54, the 5, the 51, all getting involved. That is going to create a lot of pandemonium here at the back. Lights on the pace truck still going to be on, so we'll go just a little bit longer. Into our third caution of the night, going to be our fourth start. Mike Augustine up 7 spots. Kinzer Tosh in P13, currently up 11 spots. So he might be another good contender for our Hard Charger Award here tonight. He started this race in dead last, so in theory, he does have the easiest. He has the easiest route here. Statistically speaking, he can only go up. As the iRacing official pace truck going to come back out, I was wondering why everybody was slowed down to a little bit of a crawl here. As the official pace truck going to come back out. It's going to roam back in very, very quickly. As now we've got the 32 trying to get out and away. And I'm not sure if we look, pace truck is indeed coming out, so we will have one more time around. I guess people were in the pits doing their thing. We're going to get started back here very, very shortly. As I apologize for the little bit of lull in action. Things are set to get started here again, ladies and gentlemen. Our fourth start of the night. Aaron Vasquez has the honors. As we are down and away, green flag flying here for the Win Cash Wednesday round number 5, brought to you by none other than the Slinging Dirt Series, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget him, Aaron Vasquez out in front, the Spaniard in the number 71. Doing a fine job of staying out and away from Mike Augustine and Clayton Johnson, because that is exactly the two drivers who can contest this throne. For the other drivers on the grid, unfortunately, I'm just not seeing the same level of pace. Granted, it is an absolute war zone with a full 24-car field here. As that's going to be a very good crossover there by the number 46 of Matthew Selby. He has now found himself back into P5. After a good bit of calamity that he had to go through, Braden Carter and Scott Colm now having a little bit of a fight for position. This is almost for last place, as it is currently a battle for last place between Braden Carter and Jeffrey Hyatt. Chris Burns, 54, or Chris Bruns, I apologize. Cody Racine and Ashton Farr back here in the back trying to find some sort of groove, some sort of rhythm that can get them ascending this grid order, because right now it is not looking the greatest for them. Nate Wimhoff and Cam Carrington are having a drag race out on the front stretch. This is going to be for P9. Nate Wimhoff in that number 48 is currently sitting on the very far edge of our top 10. Tyler Bickford in the 07 up 3 spots. He started this race, and Timing Tower's going to do Timing Tower things. Matt Selby challenging for the lead here, as he is going to throw a slider on our leader, Aaron Vasquez. Not too much going to be happening from that. As I take that back, I have no idea what I was talking about. I thought Matthew Selby, he was in P6 or P7 a second ago, and I looked back up and he's challenging for the lead, but it was just a Timing Tower bug little bit of a glitch. Aaron Vasquez and Mike Augustine are still going to be battling for your lead. 53 laps to go, going to be 52 now as they cross the stripe. These two are having a very, very important battle if you are the likes of Clayton Johnson or Brandon Jones, but it doesn't matter now because things are going to be stacked back up. Braden Carter and Ashton Farr have had a moment. So we're looking at Braden Carter here in the 5, and Ashton Farr is just going to carry a whole lot of speed into that corner. Not really minding where the car in front of him was. Sure, that's going to be a very quick decision for our race director, Cody Lewis. Aaron Vasquez, Mike Augustine looking like the clear-cut best drivers here tonight when it comes to pace. Clayton Johnson is very, very close, I must add. But I just don't know if he's really going to be able to hold a candle for these two. Granted, Aaron Vasquez and Mike Augustine could be using a whole lot of their stuff here early. We do see that plaguing drivers a lot. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the pit lane. As we will get started for a 5th time here tonight, drivers of the Outpost Racing League getting ready, getting steady. Green flag is out. We go to war once again. We'll do it all over again if a yellow comes out. Here's Johnny Tucker in the number 21, down 4 spots. He started this race in P4. He now finds himself in P8. Not exactly the best way for him to start this race, but he does have a long time to climb back up. We're only a third of the way through this race. 25 laps have elapsed. 50 laps to go. Well, now 49 as they make their way past the start-finish line. Here's Clayton Johnson over towards the left side of your screen. He's in frame focus now. Aaron Vasquez with a crossover on Mike Augustine. Clayton Johnson going to use this momentum, use this opportunity to use his momentum, I should say. Propel around that top side, get the best run going down the straight, and just like that, he has leapfrogged Aaron Vasquez in the grid order, and now he goes for Augie. Mike Augustine not really finding the pace down there around the bottom. The track is so slicked off right now. Virtually nothing looks dry unless you're ripping that top, and that is exactly what these drivers are doing here. Slider thrown to Mike Augustine on behalf of Clayton Johnson. Augie's going to get back around that one. Aaron Vasquez now battling with Matthew Selby, but Selby has Brandon Jones behind him, so it's just going to be a world of trouble for Aaron Vasquez, and he has the real possibility of just falling and hemorrhaging these grid positions, because if he cannot find a groove, if he cannot get back in front of Clayton Johnson, then he is the last line of defense, so to say, when it comes to this podium. He will be in the 3rd spot. Everyone will be gunning for him because that is the spot that is in the money. And if we look at Aaron Vasquez there, he's going to run into Clayton Johnson, and then he's going to hit the wall on the right side. And all that to say we are still green. No, Aaron Vasquez's car is going to be absolutely toast. That is going to be a whole slew of drivers into the pit lane. We saw it in 4K right here. We'll go back and take another look. But, oh, man, Aaron Vasquez, that's going to cause the 57 to hit him. And that is going to be our 5th caution of the night, coming at around lap number 32, I believe. So drivers are going to have an opportunity to maybe go in, get something fixed on their car if need be. Other than that, they've got a little bit of time to kind of sit, think about strategy, think about what they might be doing right or wrong with this race, and they have got to get back out on track, and they have got to get moving. Because the end of this race will come up quicker than you think, especially if we get a long green flag run-in. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the pit lane. And it didn't work out the greatest last time, so we're going to do it with someone who I think might be a dark horse here. We're going to ride on board with the 110 of Chase Copeland, as actually the pace car is coming back out. I apologize. But now you know, now I have spilt my secrets. You know what we're going to be doing next time around. So Chase Copeland in that 110 car. I'm sure iRacing official pace truck is now going to make its way off the racing surface. Yes, it will. And now this time, and hopefully I don't jinx it, but we will ride on board with the 110 UMP modified of Chase Copeland. And unfortunately for us, it was nothing but really moving backwards for the 110 of Chase Copeland. He now sits in P9, which is going to be a place, one place worse, I should say, than where he started. Where he started was P8, but that spot currently sits to Brandon Schatz, who started this race in P17, but he now finds himself in P7, or P8, I should say. So very well done on him. Dylan Jones still going to be your hardest charger from 16th to 5th. That is going to be 11 positions gained for him. So he is looking pretty nice for that hard charger award. That's going to be $25. And once again, it's all sponsored by the Slinging Dirt Series. Make sure you check out Race Night in America every other Friday. Next event is going to be round number 2 right here on the OuTPost Racing Network, July 10th. Going to be one heck of a showdown. I cannot wait to see what those drivers do, especially in that Outlaw Street Stock division. Gonna be crazy times, crazy racing, and a crazy show, no doubt. But that is on Friday, and in the moment right now, we've got Mike Augustine ready to release the hounds for the 7th time back into action. We are green, 38 laps to go, and the number 1 of Wozniak is going to be around once again, but he's going to keep going. We're going to stay green. As Mike Augustine still believing in that shallow, low line, trying to kind of jump the line, so to say, into the exit line of turn number 4. We're going to be yellow again, and it looks like it might be Aiden Lewis. As, yeah, he is going to get into the wall. There's a decent chance he broke something there. He is going to have to just stop, unfortunately. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I need a bathroom break. So we're going to go picture-in-picture here real quick. When we come back, we're going to finish up our main event here. $125 purse here tonight. Yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that intro music. But what we do want is Mike Augustine starting us back off here for what I think is the maybe 7th or 8th time. Matt Selby up to the top in that number 46. Once again, going to be Calamity in the mid-pack, middle of the racetrack. As, oh no, I do believe that might actually be Tyler Bickford. Or quite possibly Dylan Jones, who might have gotten the brunt end of that. Chase Copeland currently in P7, trying to find his way up the grid, 3 wide, and this is for P6. It's going to be Bickford, Jones, and Copeland. Chase Copeland, unfortunately, going to send it a little too hard up onto the shelf there. As we look back towards our leaders, Clayton Johnson making it very competitive against Mike Augustine here. Mike Augustine up 8 spots. He was in P9. He currently leads, but Clayton Johnson has a lot to say about that. We cannot forget about Matt Selby as well, who has been everywhere on the track here tonight. He's been down bad in P20. He's been up towards the lead. He's been in the mid-pack, but where he finds himself now is P3 with a real good chance of getting paid here. And if he continues like how he did last lap, he is going to overtake both of these drivers. And that is going to be our 8th caution of the night. Ooh, as we take a look, and it wasn't exactly what you would like to see. Maybe get a little bit of a closer look here as... Oh no, it looks like 2 drivers maybe just getting into each other on the exit of 4. It's going to be the 110 of Copeland. Had the run on the outside. Maybe Johnny Tucker wasn't entirely aware of where he was. Maybe he did and accidentally just washed up there anyway. I'm not entirely sure what the calling is going to be on that one. So unfortunately, our Hall of Shame is going to increase a fair bit here, as if you look at who all is out or in the pit, we got Scott Colm, Ashton Farr, Kinzer Tosh, Chris Bruns, Aaron Vasquez, Braden Carter as well. Lights, I believe, are out on the pace car, just to get a little quick check. Yes, they are. He is heading into the safety of the pits. Around the back stretch in turn 3 and 4 we go. It's going to be our 9th start of the evening, as Augie in the number 19, Mr. Mike Augustine, has the button in that orange and gray with the black accents, and I thought that was going to be a moment between Clayton Johnson and Matthew Selby there. Fortunately for them, it was not. Brandon Jones, another driver who has been through the absolute ringer tonight. It seems he has been around or involved in a ton of stuff that maybe he couldn't really prevent. Clayton Johnson going to have a horrible turns 1 and 2. Going to give up that P2 position to Matt Selby. 28 laps now to go. Drivers now need to get into their spots. They need to find their positions and really start hammering, putting the pressure on whoever opposes them in front. That is exactly what Chase Copeland's trying to do to Nate Wimhoff here. Chase Copeland in the 110 battling Nate Wimhoff. He's going to use Brandon Jones in that number 15 almost as a pick to get around Mr. Wimhoff. That's going to be a little bit of racecraft on the side of Chase Copeland there in the 110, but the 48 and 8 Wimhoff is not backing down. He is not going anywhere. Neither is Dylan Jones, but he's struggling to keep it straight. 3 wide for P7. Bickford and Schatz are getting into this as well. I hear a little bit of catastrophe. I'm not entirely sure where I heard that at. Cody Racine is currently in P17. Looking to try to get around this track as quick as possible. Aiden Lewis has now found himself in the pits along with Brandon Schatz. Now here's Aaron McGee in the number 13, I believe is what he's rocking. Yes, it is. We'll get a little closer look onto him. He was in a staggered 3-wide situation with the 21 and the 1 there, but there's Johnny Tucker right behind him. Or I apologize, that's Jason Wilson in the 97. Him and Johnny Tucker running very similar cars when it comes to color scheme here. Back up towards the front, Chase Copeland. If we zoom in, which we are, it seems he's in a little bit of no man's land here, as he is going to be 7.5 tenths off of Clayton Johnson, who currently sits in P3. Mike Augustine going to be your current leader of this race, and there's very decent contention for Mike Augustine being one of, if not your hardest charger of the night. So maybe a first place payout and a hard charger payout for Matt Selby. We'll have to see how it all boils down. Mike Augustine, Matt Selby, very, very close, not only in grid position, but also in that hardest charger position. Chase Copeland has now found his way to a 1-second gap on Clayton Johnson, so it is growing, and that is not good news for the 110. He sits just outside the top 3, and he's not really in a position to get that hardest charger award, so he is essentially, if things were to finish out how they are now, he would be the first loser in all technicality. He would be the first position not paid there in that best of the rest P4 spot. Cam Carrington now battling Dylan Jones. Cam Carrington in that number 02. He started this race in P11. And he only sees himself one spot up right now. A little bit of collision there from Cameron Carrington and Dylan Jones. Aaron McGee now sits in P12, and that is going to be your current hardest charger of the evening. Though Aaron McGee has to think that he might be in a pretty good spot here. Nate Wimhoff 8 spots up. It's very, very close for that hardest charger award, and unfortunately the race lead is starting to increase for Mike Augustine. It's going to be a 10th difference between him and Matt Selby that time around. So the 19 and the 46 are growing apart in their battle, but Clayton Johnson is getting a lot closer to Matt Selby, which means he is a lot closer to getting a little bit of a pay bump for finishing P2 here tonight. Chase Copeland is not making matters any better on himself. That lead, or that gap I should say, to Clayton Johnson now sits at 1.6, although a little bit of a compromised corner from Clayton Johnson. Chase Copeland, he got a whole lot of time just now. Things might not be over yet. Jeffrey Hyatt is only a half second behind Nate Wimhoff. That's going to be for P4. Johnny Tucker now battling Aaron McGee, and although these positions are essentially useless for everyone except Aaron McGee, they're still trying to battle him. Aaron McGee and Brandon Jones having it out for each other. If Aaron McGee can secure this position by the checkered flag, it's going to be 12 spots up for him. And I'm pretty sure that will do it for the hardest charger. Your battle on the podium side of things is still very, very clear. It's Mike Augustine, and then a second back from him is going to be the 46 of Matt Selby, with Clayton Johnson now a second and a half, actually make that 2 seconds behind him. However, Chase Copeland, 6 laps to go. There is a chance now for Chase Copeland to land in that payment purse, those spots. Remember, we're paying all spots of the rostrum, and we're also paying the hardest charger. A little bit of a torpedo diving attack there for Chase Copeland. It's going to turn out to be a drag race now between him and Clayton Johnson. Slider thrown by Copeland, going to be met by a crossover from Clayton Johnson. Copeland electing to go high, and oh no, big contact between Chase Copeland and Nate Wimhoff. Now Nate Wimhoff has to battle Jeffrey Hyatt. That is going to be for a little bit of a useless position, and we have a yellow flag out with 4 laps to go. That's going to shake everything up. It is our 9th caution of the evening. And Kazi says maybe 18 cars next time. Hey, man, you might be right on that one. We're going to take a look at what happened. It looks like Brandon Jones might be the one credited for... Okay. Okay. Because that is going to be Brody Ulick, who is indeed hit. And we'll have to go back and look. Is there any... Well, we'll have to go look at that later, but that is a very clear-cut straight line. As the drivers are showing their interest. Showing both their interest and their disgruntlement. But with that being said, we've got 4 laps to go here. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the pit lane. Mike Augustine gonna pull the button real late. Gonna make everybody kind of second guess. It's gonna be 2 laps to go, so it looks like we have a natural green, white checkered here. Mike Augustine off to a fantastic start here. And if we go official, which I think we will, he is going to take the white flag. Final lap for these drivers. Chase Copeland has gotten around to that 3rd spot. And Mike Augustine, his road here was a little bumpy, but when it came to the feature, he was head and toes over everyone. He is going to win, and he is going to get paid $50 here tonight for Mike Augustine. Matt Selby in P2, going to secure that $30 payment. And Chase Copeland going to be receiving an absolute payday here. I mean, it's just like every other Outpost Racing League Win Cash Wednesday race. He's going to get paid $20. And your hardest charger of the night is going to go to Aaron McGee, who isn't currently on track, but he is going to be 13 positions up. And that is going to be him getting paid as well, $25 to that hardest charger. Wow, what a fantastic race we had here tonight. And we're going to start by bringing in that 3rd place finisher. It's going to be the 110 of Chase Copeland. Chase, man, you had to fight pretty much all night. How did it feel, man?
Yeah, it was definitely active attrition. We had to go to the back a couple of times. We broke the car, ripped the right front off of it, left front, off one time too. So yeah, I just had to kind of avoid all the weapons and, just try to save tire. I knew we had a pretty good car at the end. Enough to get by Clayton at least. I knew I probably didn't have nothing for Mike. He was ripping the whole entire time. But yeah, we got by Clayton, gave him a little bump and run there, and just kind of went off to the races. So definitely cool to see the CFM top 3 out here at the Win Cash Wednesdays with you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I do want to ask, because we did have a full 24-car feature here tonight. How was the atmosphere? How did it feel? You are a vet of the Outpost Racing League. You have been to every single Win Cash Wednesday race. So how did it feel having those extra cars out there tonight? And what was the vibe like? What was the atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, I think the atmosphere tonight on track was killed or be killed, in all honesty. But, we still have fun at every single one of these races, and we can't thank you guys enough for putting these races on for us and, throwing free entry money out to us and making these shows pay back to third. So big shout out to Kazi over at Slinging Dirt for you two for working together and making this deal happen. It's always cool to have something free that we can come run on the dirt side of the community. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of heads up racing. You just kind of had to watch where you're going. And I mean, there's a lot of guys that had 8-up tires at the end. A lot of guys that, aren't really that familiar with Lucas. Lucas is a really technical track, especially when it gets this slick with the UMPs. So you really got to watch where you're doing. And, I think a lot of guys learned a bunch of stuff tonight, I hope. I know I did. And kind of take that moving forward into next week for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you got it done. You're getting paid in that P3 spot. Is there anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance here tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. As always, all the guys over at CFM and Jules C Speed Shop are just keeping us fast week in and week out. Big shout out to Mike. He's a big part of the UMP program, and he's a big part of why all those sets are fast. So we couldn't do it without him and all those guys over at CFM and, all of our homies over at Midwest Sim Sports for putting in the time that it takes to get ready for these races. These UMP officials are usually 30 laps. So, when we get a 75 lap UMP race, it just kind of throws something at us to where, we got to kind of tune and see what's fast and kind of put the time in to do it. So big shout out to those guys. Aces and eights for the wraps. I didn't have one on tonight, but I'm finna get a new modified wrap from Jeffrey. So highly recommend him if anybody's looking for a wrap. And you for putting on these races, man, and all the admin control. And like I said, Slinging Dirt for helping put the money up tonight to make this thing happen.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, Chase. We're going to let you get out of here and celebrate P3 tonight, getting paid $20 in that number 110 Midwest UMP modified.
I love you.
Yeah, all right, bro. All right. Well, Switching gears now, we're going to move to our P2 finisher, going to be the 46 of Matt Selby. Now, Matt, bro, you've got to tell me, you were in the absolute ringer for what seemed like a lot of the race tonight. Kind of walk me through that. How did it feel? And, you know, there were a lot of fast guys out here tonight, so what's it feel like to be able to be on the podium when the night's over?
You know, it always feels pretty good to run, you know, top 2, top 3. Obviously would rather have the win, of course. Kind of really was kind of a ping pong ball there for a little bit, it felt like. You know, just the no mirrors thing, which creates great racing, but some guys don't really know where their right rears are all the time. But besides that, I mean, it was pretty good racing, you know, just kind of bided our time right there, stayed in the middle. And then finally got up to third there on that last restart, or that next to last restart we had, and I was rolling every line I could. I had right front damage, wheel damage, and I threw everything at the kitchen sink I had to try to go get him, but we stayed about the same distance there for a real long time, and I started trying some different stuff and faded, then I'd gain, and I could never run 2 laps back to back the same way I could to try to go catch him. So, but good win to Mike.
Yeah, he was absolutely rapid. But I want to talk about the track state, because from even the beginning of the race here, the track looked to be very wild, very technical, and very methodical. And, you know, you mix that with the fact that the normal UMP races are 30 laps, 35 laps, somewhere around there. So to go 75 laps on a track that's already that used up, you know, how did it feel? And do you think it plays to your strengths or more to your weaknesses?
Oh, you know, every time we load into a race and we have a CFM set, I was on the setup that I built here last season. Mike was on the setup I think he built here also last season for this track for CFM Agility. And every time we can roll in with something that we've built and something from Agility, it always a total confidence boost. So everybody in Agility, Blake Majula, 7C, Chris Ferguson, Augie, everybody that helps us out, man. Definitely improve the confidence rolling in with that kind of teamwork behind us.
Yeah, well, very, very good answer there. And you kind of already got into it a little bit, but I do just want to say, you know, you're getting P2 here tonight. You're getting paid. If there's anybody you would like to shout out or thank for the performance, man, the floor is yours.
First and foremost, got to thank the good Lord up above. I got to thank everybody for watching. Y'all broadcasting. OuTPost for putting this deal on. You know, obviously got to thank Majula C, CFM, Fergie, Blake, everybody that I just mentioned previously. Shout out to my mom, my grandpa for always watching. And, you know, once again, shout out y'all for putting this deal on. We appreciate it, especially every time we can come race for some money, and especially on a free deal. You know, it's a big plus to try to pull some names in and have some good racing like it was tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate all the kind words that you have towards us, Matt, and hopefully you're back out here racing with us in the near future, but you're going to walk home paid here tonight after the broadcast. I'll get with you and exchange some info and all that. But going to be Matt Selby in the number 46, finishing the race P2 here tonight. And last, but I mean definitely not least, it's going to be our winner of the whole damn thing here tonight. Gonna be the number 19, Mike Augustine. Augie, tell me, man, you were rapid the entire night. However, your route to getting there, you know, through the heats and stuff, wasn't exactly the cleanest of roads. What changed from there to the feature to provide you with, I mean, let's just be honest, the head and shoulders edge over everyone?
I'm gonna be honest. My goal there was just to run the bottom as hard as I could, because in these cars, the bottom is always so good early on. And I'll be honest, I was probably the best I've ever hit the bottom here that long. I got damn near to the lead there really early, just running that bottom. That the whole race, I just felt like I had unlimited grip, and it just kept on getting better and better. And really happy to get this. I was iffy about where I was starting, because I knew it was going to be pretty hard to pass. So, yeah, dude, let's get
it. Yes, sir. You were rapid all night long. And to be honest, every single time you come out here to the OuTPost Racing League, you have a very good performance. This is going to be your second Win Cash Wednesday race that you have won. And if I'm not mistaken, they both come in the UMP modified. So do your ears kind of perk up whenever
The
you see
first one
that?
was a super.
Oh, it
First
was
one
a
was
super. It was a super. You're exactly
Oswego.
right. Yeah, Oswego. You're exactly right. However, the question I do believe still stands. A lot of people say you're extremely, extremely fast here in the UMP modified community. And what do you have to say to that? Do you believe that you're firmly
I'll
one
be
of the best in
honest,
the
right
world?
now, in my opinion, yes, I think I'm the number one UMP builder and driver right now, in my opinion. I know it sounds like I got an ego, but I feel like it proves in races every time I go in there. If I don't get wrecked, I'm winning. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. We appreciate you coming out here and racing with us, man. And the floor is yours. You got the win here tonight. You're getting paid that $50. That's some free cheddar change in your pocket, man. The floor is yours. Who do you have to thank for the performance here tonight?
Sure, I got to give a big thanks to Majula Say Speed Shop, everything Blake, Evan, and Chris has done for me throughout all the years. DK Motorsports on Twitch, Hypertune by Comp Ready, Jeffrey Hyde at Aces and Eights Wraps. If you need a good kick-ass wrap, go holler at Jeffrey, as probably the best on the sim in my opinion. Tac 3 Defense, Sweet Victory Apparel Co., Victory Seats, you for putting on the race and the live stream. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, too, as well, for coming out. That's going to be your winner here tonight at Lucas Oil. Going home paid. It's going to be Augie Mike Augustine in the number 19. Well, gentlemen, if you aren't necessarily staying off your phone or your computer, there's a lot of scrutiny. Whole lot of stuff going down in the Discord right now, so that only means one thing. I got to get my popcorn ready, and I got to read that stuff. That is going to do it here. Week number 5 of the Outpost Racing League's Win Cash Wednesdays. Don't forget, guys, this week was brought to you by the Slinging Dirt Series, presented by Star Race Cars. July 10th, we're going to be at Lernerville for race night in America. It's going to be the Outlaw Street Stocks and the Hooked Up Super Late Models, so make sure to get in contact. Get in the Slinging Dirt Series Discord for all updates, for registration, for everything you need to know about that series. The link will be dropped in the chat. We want to thank you guys for coming out. Drivers are going home paid here tonight, and it's all courtesy of Slinging Dirt Series, but that's just what happens when you come out and you race with the Outpost. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.